For 87 years, Blue Cross has been the name people have trusted through all their memorable moments. And the not so memorable ones.
All right, so we are starting with my own reading. This is what fell out of the deck. This is the Four of Pentacles. This card feels like your energy is shifting in a private chamber, saying, I know what I carry. I know what people try to take. I know what happens when I open too quickly. So this nearly naked woman is not just exposed, she is selectively exposed. So that feels like my current energy with visibility, dating, image, social image, and even my creative work. There is a part of me that wants to be seen beautifully, powerfully, and seductively, artistically, but only in a way where you remain in control of the gaze.
TikTok just gave us a cheat code and I'm not.
Don't let heartburn get in the way of the food you love. Get fast, powerful relief with Tums. Everything's better when you love food better. Tums. Creamy. Flavor. Don't just taste the flavor, feel the flavor with Hellmann's flavored mayo.
So I'm doing a reading for the Four of Pentacles. So you are in a season where your spirit's protecting your feminine power very tightly. Not because you are weak, but because something in you knows you are valuable and not everyone deserves access. This card feels like your energy sitting in a private chamber saying, I know what I carry. I know what people try to take. I know what happens when I open too quickly. And that is the truth of it. The first message, you are guarding your body, beauty, and sensuality. The nearly naked woman is not just exposed, she is selectively exposed. That feels very much like your current energy with visibility, dating, image, social media, and even your creative work. There is a part of you that wants to be seen beautifully, powerfully, seductively, artistically, but only in a way where you remain in control of the gaze. You are not in a phase where you want to be consumed, judged, mishandled, or picked apart. That sword between her legs is allowed. It says, my feminine energy is not public property. So for you, this card is affirming something you already know. Your softness, sexuality, beauty, talent, and emotional openness are not casual offerings. They are currency. They are sacred resources. They are not for men, audiences, friends, collaborators, or strangers to just take from. So this is your spirit saying, stop explaining why you have standards. The standard is the gate. So the second message is something in you is tired of being drained. The Four of Pentacles often appears when a person has been overgiving or overextending. Then suddenly the soul says, no more. For you, this feels connected to emotional labor. You may be tired of men who want access. This is the divine feminine, who want access but offer confusion. People who want your creativity but not your full value. Audiences that take your vulnerability but don't support your work. Collaborators who require management. And situations where you have to keep proving your worth. This card feels like a spiritual purse being snapped shut, not in a petty way, in a necessary way. It says you are recalculating the cost of access to you, and that is good. But the warning is this: don't let exhaustion make you close off from the right doors, too. The Four of Pentacles can protect the treasure, yes, but can also lock the queen inside the vault with it. So the question is not, should I open up? The question is, who has earned enough trust for me to open one layer? Not all layers, just one, okay? And then the third message, the sword is your discernment. The sword between the legs is not just defense, it is discernment. It tells me your intuition around access is sharpening. Your body knows where your mind finishes the sentence. Your spirit is clocking people faster now. This is especially relevant in dating. You are not supposed to be and let me see where this goes energy with everybody. You are in show me your structure, your intention, your consistency, your capacity, and then I'll decide if you may come closer. This is a very Four of Pentacles, Sun, and Capricorn energy. It is not romantic fantasy. It is practical feminine sovereignty. The card says you may have been second guessing whether your boundaries are too much. They are not. What may need adjusting is not the boundary itself, but the energy behind it. A boundary from fear says, I decide who enters because I know my value. And the card wants you in the second one. And then the fourth message, you are protecting a creative womb because the sword is placed. This is what I was saying. This is for the divine feminine. Because the sword is placed at the sacral area, I don't only read this sexually, I also read it creatively. Your sacral energy rules sensuality, art, creation, performance, film, story, magnetism, pleasure, embodiment. So this card may be saying you are in a very potent creative phase, but you need privacy and protection around what you are birthing. Not everybody gets to know the plan and not everybody gets to give input. This is especially true if you're in like films, your spiritual brand, your image, and your next evolution. If you're online, if you do that kind of thing, there is something about you right now where your creative energy is powerful, but easily disturbed by outside noise. So this card is saying protect the room where the vision is being formed. Do not let people with small sight walk into your temple and critique the altar. The fifth message, the sharp thing from her head. This detail feels like mental pressure. It says your mind has been working hard, maybe too hard. Planning, strategizing, analyzing, checking. Hold on one second. All right. Where did we leave off? So protect the room where the vision is being formed. Do not let people with small sight walk into your temple and critique the altar. Okay, that's very important. A lot of times you're looking for validation from people who don't even have the sight to be able to even evaluate or even see you. So don't be distracted by those things. The fifth message is the sharp thing from her head. That detail feels like mental pressure. It says your mind has been working hard, maybe too hard, planning, strategizing, analyzing, checking people's motives, checking messages, checking numbers, checking outcomes, checking whether something is worth your energy. So the card says your mind is armed, but your body may be asking for peace. So there is a difference between intuition and hypervigilance. Right now, they may be sitting very close together. Your spirit is saying, yes, protect yourself, but do not live like every room is a battlefield. This is the healing edge, the deeper spiritual message. This card feels like a woman who has been through initiation. She has a tattoo. She is marked. She has a sword. She is armed. She is nearly naked, and she is sensual, and she is all alone. So she is self-contained. She is kneeling, and she's in a private ritual with her own power. So for you, this is not just a warning card. It is a mirror. It says you are becoming more expansive energetically, not just financially, energetically. Your time costs more. Your body costs more. Creativity, emotional labor, intimacy, softness, these things all cost more. And the old version of you may still be tempted to explain, negotiate, prove, or offer. But this card says, no, just hold on, wait, watch, and let them reveal themselves. The only caution is don't confuse protection with paralysis. The Four of Pentacles can sometimes say, I'm holding on so tightly to not losing that I'm also blocking receiving. So ask yourself wisely, and where am I gripping because I'm afraid? Because there is a blessing trying to come in, but it may require you to open your hand just a little. Not to everyone, not recklessly, but to the right thing. This card fell out because your spirit is saying guard the temple, but don't become the prison guard. You are allowed to be sensual and protected. You are allowed to be visible and selective. You're allowed to want to live and still require proof. This is a card of sacred withholding, not because you have nothing to give, because you have too much to waste. Okay. Now I will do another spread with the same deck. Put that back in there. It is time to go on a sacred journey, a sacred shamanic journey, and find these answers. There has to be an answer. So let's see, what are we going to do today? I am very much in a mood to really just summon all of the powers of the universe.
This is Arby's quarter-pound pulled pork and chocolate. Roasters smoke for 13 hours. Tender, juicy barbecue like this isn't magic, although there is a lot of smoke involved.
Arby's, we have the meats. The largest seaborne invasion in history.
General Eisenhower, if you invade tomorrow, they're going to be washed away.
If we demand, we lose this war.
All right, for our first card, we have the Queen of Swords, Queen of Swords right here. And this is the answer me clearly. I was meant to ask, what is it that you need, and it was to answer me clearly. We have the Queen of Swords. All right. All right, so this Queen of Swords is a, wow, look at her. She is a unicorn. No, she's not a unicorn, but she has a helmet that has a spiked horn on it. And it looks like skulls coming from her. And she's very scantily clad, but she has kind of like a snake codpiece kind of guarding her private parts. And she definitely looks like a warrior. Yep. Got another sword over there. So this is already speaking pretty clearly for the surface situation. The Queen of Swords says what is showing on the outside is discernment, distance, analysis, boundaries, and truth. So you may be presenting as very composed and very aware, I see exactly what this is. This is not soft, dreamy, confused energy. This is a woman sitting upright with her sword raised, saying, come correct or do not come at all. Because your jumper was the Four of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords is showing how you are guarding yourself. So you are not only guarding with silence or withdrawal, you are guarding with your mind. You're watching patterns, you're reading tones, you are noticing what people avoid saying, you are hearing what is underneath the words, you are cutting through nonsense faster than before. In a love dating context, this says the surface situation may involve you needing to decide whether someone is worth access to you. So the Queen of Swords does not chase, she interviews, she observes, she asks the questions and listens for the lie. So in creative work context, this says you are in editor mode. You may be needing to separate emotion from strategy and make a clean, intelligent decision. The message of card 1 is right now your protection is coming through sharp perception. But the caution is this Queen of Swords can be focused on truth and control that she forgets her own tenderness. So on the surface, you may look strong, clear, and unbothered, but underneath the Four of Pentacles says there is something precious you are still holding close. So the imagery changes the texture of the Queen of Swords in a very specific way. She is very dark, feminine, battle-tested Queen of Swords. Defended, sexually armored, hyper-aware. The horned or spiked helmet gives her a kind of mythic warrior consciousness. It says she leads with alertness. Okay. The horn also suggests focused and directed power. This is not scattered energy. This is someone whose mind has become a weapon. So on the surface, you may be coming across as, I already know enough. I am watching and I am not easy to fool. Okay. So you've got wisdom born from endings, death of innocence, mastery through surviving hard truths. So in other words, you are not cynical for no reason, but you're informed. So she's scantily clad. That means she's a woman who is partially exposed, but not unprotected, visible, but not accessible. This is a classic sign of someone who may look open, present, magnetic, or even provocative on the outside, but internally has very firm rules about access. And that is not hypocrisy. That is discernment. And this snake cod piece, this is a woman not disconnected from desire. She is a woman who knows desire is powerful. She does not give access casually. You are showing up as a woman. This is to the divine feminine, whose energy says, approach with caution. I am not naive and I am guard what is mine. So the second sword also has that. Two is the king of chalices. Yep, the king of chalices. So card 2 is the king of chalices, and of course the king of chalices is card 2, and of course the king of chalices is represented by a woman with a gigantic ghost beast behind her, skeleton. And she's white and kind of tattooed with roses, with dark hair, kind of Eastern belly dance looking to me. And this King Kong thing behind her with all these red bats. Yep. And she's got a chalice under her neck and a necklace. Yep, very powerful card. Remember you to form your intention and ask your question. All right, so the king of chalices. So this is very rich. This is a guardian. Okay, because the first one was the Queen of Swords, and this is the King of Chalices. So this is fascinating because the surface is swords, guarded mind, discernment, defense, but the real issue underneath is water. That means the true matter is emotional, not just logic, not just boundaries, not just standards. At the root, there is the question of emotional mastery and safety and power. And with the imagery here, this is not a mild king of chalices. This is a dark, magnetic, spiritually potent, emotional sovereign. So that means your question must have been very intense. Must be very intense. And we need answers. We need answers. So traditionally, the king of chalices cups is emotional maturity, self-control, depth of feeling, wisdom in relationships, someone who feels deeply but does not drown in feelings, someone who can hold emotion without chaos, compassion. But in shadow, the king of chalices can also point to repressed feelings and emotional manipulation. I love that. That is so nice. I like that. Oh my God, I gotta do that. That is heaven sent. Oh my God, yeah. All right, so the king of chalice is extremely important intuitively. So it's not about literal gender, it's about embodied emotional authority. So that's why the king is represented as a woman. So it's not a man, it's just that the control over the emotional field. Who can truly hold emotion with power? Who is emotionally sovereign? This is just like my movie, The Mentor. It's got this looming presence over you, but you're trying to figure out who can control. So you're being asked to not only protect your heart, but to rule it, and that is a higher level. So the image is gorgeous and loaded. White, pale figure that can be spirit, otherworldliness, ghostly, ancestral feel, emotional, truth stripped bare, sensitivity, something haunting or deeply felt. So this makes the casual, emotional energy feel almost supernatural or soul level, not casual. So the tattoos, they're like history, experience written onto the body, pain. These roses can symbolize that. Emotional energy, the roses symbolize love, passion, the heart. So the real issue is tied to love, longing, emotional beauty, and emotional vulnerability, but also to pain that can come with that. So underneath the Queen of Swords, underneath the Four of Pentacles, the truth may be this is really about the heart. This is really about love and trust and emotional power. So the Eastern belly dance feeling that I see here, I get intuitive body wisdom, enchantment, feminine power, sensual, intuitive. How do I hold the intensity of what I feel? So this is a King of Chalice question. So the beast behind her feels like the emotional underworld haunting past experiences, grief, fear, the shadow side of love, old attachments. The fact that she stands in front of it tells me something, that it's going to be, she's composed. She's standing with something massive behind her.
Try Nature Made. It's made with quality ingredients. Good for you every day.
Surely.
No, we can't do it. Space Agency is tracking the fragment. They're predicting.
French. Isn't dating fruit. All right. Thanks, Heather. All right. Thank you. See you later.
Bye.
That's great. Hey, we need to watch that.
out there. I mean,
Good, yes. Thanks, this is great. You guys are gonna be great.